And we're back. This is Josh Broide, and I'm coming to you live, not from Boca Raton, Florida, but for the first time live from Modi'in in Israel. You see, I'm an Israeli now. I just made Aliyah, and I can't wait to share some of the incredible stories and experiences with you as we move through this. Maybe we'll see. Might be a new podcast. Got a lot of experience with doing these podcasts and these radio shows. We'll see what maybe becomes of this one. First of all, it's a beautiful night here. And what wouldn't be amazing? I don't know if you can hear it, but there seems to be a live party going on just next door. That's right. Someone's celebrating something. Hey, maybe it's celebrating our Aliyah. Maybe we just didn't know the party was tonight. Maybe we'll just bring this podcast over to the neighbors and see what's going on. But they do have a live band. I can tell, I can hear the drums. Listen, I'm a drummer. Part of the dream of moving to Israel was maybe starting a band. Not maybe, just maybe finding the right musicians. And we will be holding some tryouts, auditions for the musicians out there if they're going to be the ones that be qualified to be in this band, because it's going to be probably the best band we've ever seen in Israel. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is. And again, don't worry, Yishai Ribo, Sanan Ben Ari. This is not your genre. We're going to be a little different, so it's not going to be competition. Just something different, something I've dreamed of all my life, and maybe it's about to happen. Is that the reason we moved to Israel to start a rock band? Probably not, but I think there are many different reasons. And how long has it been going on? What was the impetus for the Brody family to pick up and move out of the greatest Jewish community anywhere in the world outside of Israel? Now I've got to say probably Modi'in or Yerushalayim for those of you in Efrat or Beit Shemesh. Sure there's a close second or third over there, but these are some of the best communities anywhere. So why would we pick up? Why would we move? A lot of people said, "Oh, it's probably October 7th." That impacted the Jewish world. There's so many people that made Aliyah as a result. People are considering Aliyah that maybe they never considered it before. So what happens? Well, it all happened about 5 years ago when our daughter Ayala got married to our amazing son-in-law. We call him our son because he is such a great guy, and I love him as much as I would love any of my children. And of course, Ayala and Jake decided to make Aliyah. They moved to Israel. So we know if they're going to be starting their family, it's a good chance we're going to have to make more visits to Israel. Well, fast forward a year and a half later, Abigail, it might have even been that year that she graduated, or she might have even been living in Israel at that point. She also might have made Aliyah already by the time they got married. And she decided to go right to the Israeli army right after graduating high school. So we said, okay, here we go. She's going to get married. She's going to start a family. One by one, all the kids are going to Israel. So, of course, this has to become something a little more serious. We always wanted to move to Israel, maybe in 5 years, maybe 20 years, maybe when we retire. But the clock started moving a lot faster when the kids decided to make Aliyah. And that's what we started doing, just looking at the calendar and saying, what would be a good thing, a good time for our other kids to make that transition? Well, look at the calendar. Aruva, she would be in ninth grade in 5 years, and Eitan would be in fifth grade in 5 years' time. AJ will be in his first or second year in yeshiva. So it's like perfect. Oh, hear that? Hear the nice drums there? Someone's rocking out. Maybe this is our party. I love it. Okay, ninth grade, start high school. Fifth grade, it's like the beginning of middle school. Little did we know that when we finally enrolled the kids in schools here, we found out that high school started in seventh grade and there's no transition for fifth graders. So that didn't really work out maybe in the best of their interests, but they don't know it yet because school doesn't start till September 1st. But they're going to have a great time. We've already met many families locally, and we've already met many of the families that have kids in their classes, and we cannot wait to begin this new chapter here in this amazing city called Modi'in. But I got to start with something called Hakaras Hatov, Hakarat Hatov, as my Israeli friends and neighbors would say right now. You've got to give gratitude. You've got to say thank you because there's so many people that made this happen, and especially the organization called Nefesh B'Nefesh. If you don't know the story of Nefesh B'Nefesh, you've got to go on their website right now, nbn.org.il. Maybe just give them a Google search and you'll see the history, and you'll find out very quickly that this is an organization that started in a wonderful community. I think you might have heard of them because I probably said it about 15 times already. It's called Boca Raton, specifically Boca Raton Synagogue. And I remember when Rabbi Josh Fass, who hired us 25 years ago to come and work at Boca Raton Synagogue, Simone and I got started when he called us in July of 2000. We moved down in August of 2000. And now, fast forward 25 years later, after he started this incredible organization called Nefesh B'Nefesh to help facilitate Aliyah, North American Jews, Jews around the world, they're doing it, this Nefesh B'Nefesh. Josh and Tony Gelbar, 25 years later, almost to the day, Josh brought us to Boca, and Josh just brought us to Israel. So if there's anyone that we've got to give gratitude to and just say thank you to, it's going to be Josh Fass. What an incredible Jewish leader. What an amazing, amazing force for the Jewish world. I'm now Israeli. There was a time right before we landed, just so you know, I mean, so many things I want to share with you. Right before we landed in Israel, we knew it was going to erupt in singing and it was going to be fun. But there was one point, I guess, where maybe we crossed into Israeli airspace, and Rabbi Fass got on the intercom and he said, I hope everyone's preparing for the landing, all the important announcements. I said, I just want you to know, as of right now, this moment, you're officially Israeli. And it's just like your heart sinks. You're like, did we just crash? I hope we didn't just crash because I just felt like we just sank right now. And I couldn't believe it. It was one of those moments where I guess it's a culmination of many years of dreaming, and it's also an opportunity for you to reflect. But as everything's happening, it's happening so fast, it's happening all in real time. And there were so many firsts on this flight that Nefesh B'Nefesh had arranged. You see, they've done dozens of charter flights. Many people make Aliyah. You can do it by yourself. You could do it in small groups. You could do it from almost anywhere, anywhere where there's a flight available to fly to Israel. You can make Aliyah. You can move to Israel. They do these massive charter flights. And because of the war, there hasn't been a charter flight since October 7th. I didn't know that when we were boarding this flight, this is the first charter. Almost, what was that, 300, about 300 people were on this flight making Aliyah. It's the first charter flight since October 7th. But that wasn't the only first. You see, Nefesh B'Nefesh makes it so easy. In fact, this is a throwback to the days when we were in yeshiva back in the early 90s, where you could go and do something called early check-in at Ben Gurion Airport, where you had your one or two duffel bags. You said, oh, why should I bring them to the airport on the day or right before the flight when they have check-in? But I can go early. I can bring my two duffels and just forget about it. They're there, and I can just do the quick check-in. They stopped that, I guess, for many decades already. But we were able to do early check-in because Nefesh B'Nefesh arranged it at John F. Kennedy Airport, where you could bring your 10. We had 10 duffel bags, bring them to the airport. Yeah, we had to go back, come back the next day. But imagine you're coming back just with one carry-on. Everyone's got one carry-on bag, and it takes so much stress out of the equation. And then when you get to the airport and you've got these amazing, amazing, incredible people working Nefesh B'Nefesh just there to help you through the process, helping with your luggage. Rabbi Josh Fess had just arrived when we did. The guy's taking tags, and he's taking tags and putting them on every suitcase. This is a CEO of a major organization. He's not sitting in the background. He's the one there taking your bags, helping you lift these heavy duffel bags, 70-pound bags, and he's the one that's there helping. And I can tell you he does it because he does it with so much heart and he does it with so much soul. Even when we're on the plane, Nachum Siegel, you might have heard the interview. You can click on if this is going to be shown on Facebook. I'm not sure where we're going to be broadcasting this or even if it's going to see the light of day. But Nachum Siegel's broadcasting live every single event that's taking place on the airplane, on the flight from JFK to Ben Gurion. What a night. What an incredible night. Even when we landed, I remember Simone said to me, she's like, this has been the best flight ever. I don't even feel like it was, whatever, 13 hours or 12 hours, however long the flight is. It just flew by because I think everyone had so much energy just launching into this aliyah. It was great. We landed. We heard that there wasn't going to be the traditional big ceremony when we landed. And we thought maybe, what's going on? We're getting gypped here. We thought we're part of a big group. There should be something. And I could tell you it was anything but the best experience that I've ever. It was bigger than I ever anticipated if we would have had even whatever the traditional ceremony was. It was even better because before we even left JFK, we had a ceremony at the gate. This is the first time Nefesh B'Nefesh has ever done this. But imagine after hearing from Tony and Josh, one of the MKs, one of the ministers from the Israel's Knesset, Israeli Knesset, the minister of Aliyah and Absorption, flew to New York to fly back with us on our flight and address us before we left, talking about what it means to make Aliyah. Everyone giving us the best brachot, the best brachas, right? So you should have a successful Aliyah. And then right as they said, we're about to board, Even for you that's been to Israel before, you've taken all the different flights, different airlines, El Al. You've never done this. And they said, no one's ever done this. This is a first for an El Al charter, Nefesh B'Nefesh charter, where the entire flight was standing ready to board. And we sang Hatekva. How do you like that? Hatekva. And I can promise you, not everyone knew the words. You know why? Because there were almost 150 children on the flight. I don't even think half of them could even talk yet. This is going to be a loud flight. This is going to be a very loud flight. Children, but who doesn't want that on their flight? Any other flight, you'd be complaining. Oh, it's so noisy. Oh, I can't sleep. Can't sleep. Who could sleep? There's no way you could sleep. 100 kids. When we landed and you get off the plane, they took all the children and they brought them all together. They gave them T-shirts. It says the Jewish future or Israel's future. Amazing blue and white T-shirts. They took a big picture with all of them. What flight? Where can you get that? Where can you experience that? And I think for me, probably the best part of the whole experience so far was just this morning on day one, even though I said today's day two, but yesterday wasn't the full day. Day one, full day, you wake up in Israel. Like, first of all, you wake up and you're like, did this really happen? We've all had those nights where it was a crazy night before, and you say to yourself, oh, was that a dream? Sometimes a dream is more like a nightmare. I hope I forget that. I hope I didn't do that. Sometimes a dream like it seems too good to be true, and you're like hitting yourself, and you say, "Did that really happen?" And you wake up, and you're like, look out the window, and I'm in Israel. So I walk to the shul, which is literally a block away. It's just across the street. You can see it here. I'm on the balcony. Beautiful night here in Israel, and I saw two guys that I knew, and I've been to this community a number of times before. But both of them said the same thing. And they've never said this to me. And this is when, you wake up. You're not dreaming anymore. You know what they said? Not, hey, how was the flight? Not, how's everything in Boca? What's going on? And, not welcome. They said, welcome home. Welcome home. That's right. Welcome home. You know what home means? Home is where you're from. Okay, so you haven't lived here for 2,000 years. But now it's time to be back. Now it's time to come back. And that's time that I am back. I guess you could call him a dual citizen, right? I'm still a citizen of the United States, but I'm now a citizen of Israel. Got a hood. I got a national ID number. I'm an Israeli. I could run for Knesset. I think I could. Is that the rule? Pretty sure it is, because I think in America you have to be born there. I wasn't born there. I was born in South Africa. But I can't imagine you have to be born in Israel to run for the Knesset, because everyone was born somewhere else. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. And if it's true, maybe I'll run. I'll run for the Knesset. Who knows? Let's throw it out there. After all, we've got this podcast, and we're going to bring you the greatest things that are happening, not just in Israel, but around the Jewish world, just like we used to do with Jewish Pride Radio. We had so many other different radio shows and podcasts, and now we're doing it again because I really do believe that this is the beginning of something special. You don't wake up in Israel and say it's a normal day. You say this is amazing. We've got so many incredible opportunities. I'll tell you what, this is not going to be. It's not going to be bashing anyone. We've never done that, and we never will do that. A lot of politics. There's a lot of challenges in the Jewish world. We'll deal with one, the one that we've always dealt with, the one that is closest and nearest to my heart, which is called Achdus, unity, Jewish unity, bringing different types of Jews together. And we still do have what I believe is part of a solution that's now 6 different communities in North America, hopefully in 10 soon, and maybe even more after that. Our wonderful partners program, pjl.org, if you haven't seen it. But now that I have the opportunity to work for the Silver Foundation, run some of these amazing programs that we began and started in Boca and are going to continue because I'm going to be traveling back and forth. Back and forth. I'll be doing a lot of traveling because we got a lot of work to do. So that's definitely on the agenda. And I'm just excited to be here. I'll tell you, even today, we realize we've got to do some important things. Nefesh B'Nefesh gave us a list of things that we have to get done right when you get to Israel. Number one, you got to set up a bank. I did my research. You got Bank Leumi. You got Bank Paul. I got friends that have the discount bank. There's a bunch of different banks. They say, well, find out what bank is close to you. So I did my research. We've got the Paul and we've got the Bank Leumi. So now, after doing a lot of things this morning, we had to do a grocery shopping, get back home. Okay, let's go to the bank. Where's the bank? Okay, here it is. Oh, it's closed. The bank closes at 2:30. Okay, let's check out the other bank. That bank closes at 2:30. Okay, no problem. We'll go to the bank tomorrow morning. What time do they open? Nope. Friday. The banks are closed in Israel. Can't go Saturday because it's Shabbos. Can't go to the bank on Shabbat. So we'll go on Sunday. Okay. Someone just told us we might need to get some other form signed. I think we might have had that form signed when we're on the plane, but they said you have to go to Ramla if you don't have it. I don't know where Ramla is. It sounded like Ramallah. I hope it's not Ramallah. But that's one thing. I had to go with my son to buy something for his computer. So after all, that's like the most essential thing. He's got to have his device. So we go to the local computer store, electronics store. We went to the other one. The other one went to three different ones. Finally found something that he was looking for. Go to pay, and the guy says, "Okay, what's your two dots hood number?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "That card they gave you." So what's the number? I said, "I have no idea what the number is." "You mean like my social? You want my social security number?" He said, "What's your social security number?" I said, "Maybe that's my two dots of hood number." So we're going back and forth. This guy has no clue what I'm talking about. And I said, "I think I have it, but it's on my table." He says, "Why is it on your table?" I said, Why is it not on my table? Who said you had to bring it?" He said, "Well, when you buy things, you need the two dots of hood number." Okay. Problem is, they give me a temporary one. It doesn't fit in my wallet. It's a little bit bigger than the average official two dots of hood. So he said, no problem. He stuck in some other numbers. Maybe it's his number. I don't know which number he put in. And I guess I learned the hard way. You got to carry it around. I guess I got to memorize the number. That is one of the things you got to do. You got to get used to. Got banking to do. We got to sign up for the healthcare. We'll let you know how that goes. And again, that's it. I just wanted to say thank you for those of you that have been following this journey for the last few days. You see, it's been an exciting time. Um, Also want to thank again my dear friends, so much more than friends, my brothers at Boca Raton Synagogue for the support of the last 25 years. It's been an amazing journey together. I can't believe it's over. Even though it's not really over, because I know there's going to be a trip coming in February. We've got another trip already coming the beginning of November, a guy's trip from Boca. And there'll be some great things we'll continue to do together. And I really believe that that's the foundation, that along with the work I was able to do at the Jewish Federation in South Palm Beach, built a foundation of what's about to come. Some might say, oh, you moved, you're in Israel, you're either getting a different job or you're going to be, maybe you're retired. Who knows? 50 is the new, say 65. Is that what they say? I just said it. I don't know if that's what it means, but I'm not retired. In fact, I feel like I'm ready to work harder than I've ever worked in my life. You get to work double hours. You can work Israeli hours, and then when the Israelis are finished their day at 5 p.m., I guess, you can start working American hours. But if there's one thing that I just hope I leave you with, I think everyone's got a dream. Everyone hopefully is starting to at least make plans or at least start to struggle with the, if not now, when idea of making Aliyah at some point. Or if you can't make Aliyah, you can't move for any number of very legitimate reasons. Come visit, come check it out. I'd love to show you around on your next trip. It's an amazing thing. I saw Hillel Fooled. If this doesn't put you over the edge, I don't know what will. But Hillel Fooled, the unbelievable Israeli spokesman, influencer, someone that I admire. Someone says, "Where do you get all your news from when you want to know about Israel?" I say, it's very simple. I just go to Hillel Foold's page and I know everything. In fact, I know before the news agencies know because Hillel knows before they know. He has some source somewhere, I think inside the government. He knows things first. But I saw that if you make Aliyah, he'll take you out to and treat you to a shawarma. I told him. I texted him on his board. I said, listen, extra harif, maybe. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it in Boca. So if anyone knows him, tell him Brody's ready. Let's do it. You want to do tomorrow? I can do tomorrow. Bank's closed. I don't know what else to do tomorrow. But the real reason, talking about the dreams, that we did this, as I said at the beginning of the show, we have three amazing daughters who already made Aliyah, three other amazing children who made Aliyah now, right? Three that did it, three that are doing it. And We just want to let you know that that's what happens, family first. I'll tell you, as a busy rabbi for many years, almost 30 years, um, not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time away from the family, it takes a lot of time away from some of your friends. And I said that this is an opportunity to maybe start a new I didn't call it a new life, but a new priority list, right? Priority of getting to know your family and extended family better, an opportunity to know your friends better. Right? These are people in your life that actually mean something. And sometimes, they're casual, a little more casual interactions. If they really matter, we're not getting any younger. Let's make them count. About to start a new year, about to start preparing for the new year, right? Elul's upon us. So, as I'm talking, I'm starting to think about all the things that maybe you and I can do together. Maybe there'll be an opportunity to study together. Got some great, great things I'd love to share, great teachings that I'm learning. And as I learn, I love to teach. Why not? Love to see you in Israel. Can't wait to see my kids. I'm going to my daughter. We're going to be in Karmei Gat. Going to be there for Shabbos. So if you're tuning in now from Modi'in, we won't be here till next week. But I heard there's a big Kiddush celebrating all the Olim. A lot of people moved to Modi'in. They appreciate it. I appreciate a good Kiddush. So that works like a glove. We're going to have fun together. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for tuning in. If you're excited about sharing some very, very special things, please comment below. I don't know where the below is. I don't know where we're going to see this. But one thing I do know is that we'll be coming back to you hopefully tomorrow. Let's see what's next. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. Inspire yourself to inspire others.